Okay, the second half of the non-Mendelian inheritance problems, beginning with number 6. If black poodles and white poodles are exhibited incomplete dominance, what would the third phenotype be? Well, you could say that this would be your black, P for poodles. We could use any letter here. It could be C for coloring. This would be our white. If this was incomplete dominance, we would take one of each of these, so a P with a P prime. That's going to give us our third phenotype, and that is gray. This is like a mixing of paint colors, black and white, to give you gray. So showing the cross of a black poodle with a gray poodle, so it's third phenotype, and that is gray. What are the ratios? We have the offspring. So there's our black poodle. There's our gray poodle. So you're going to get on top, big P, big P. The bottom is going to be P, P prime. Always put in the prime second, so they kind of hang off the edge and they're a little bit easier to identify. So you're going to get a 50-50 ratio of both genotype and phenotype, so that's a 1-to-1. Number 7 says use B's to show the genotype for a male who has a sex-linked dominant trait. It's sex-linked, so we have to show X and Y for a male. Sex-linked dominant, meaning it's a capital B. So X with a big B superscript and a Y. A female who has a sex-linked recessive trait, females have 2 X's, and since it is a recessive trait, that means she has to have both recessive X's, meaning X little b, X little b. A heterozygous female, just like in Mendelian genetics, would be one of each. So we have X big B, X little b. And the problem says if having 4 ears is sex-linked recessive, cross a female with 4 ears and a male with 2. Our female with 4 ears, let's put on top, but I'm going to erase this since it's kind of in my way. Our female with 4 ears, since 4 ears is recessive, is going to have this genotype, X little b, X little b. A 2-eared male, meaning he's normal, so he has the alternative form, which in this case is dominant. So it would look like this one up here. X big B with a Y. So inside of our Punnett square, I'm just going to do the B's. I'm not going to include the X's, because it's going to look kind of messy. So you're going to have X big B, X little b there. X big B, X little b there. But for the bottom, I'm going to show X and Y just because there's a difference here in the sex chromosomes. But they are both going to be X little b with a Y, meaning 100% of the boys in this family will end up with 4 ears. None of the girls will because they have an X big B. And that's all it takes for them to have 2 ears since it's a recessive trait. Moving on to the next problem, male who's normal. Looks like that. Whose dad was 4-eared. So, let's use the other Punnett square. Here's the male that's normal. His dad was 4-eared. So he's X little b, his dad's X little by. Whose mother was homozygous normal. Homozygous meaning same. Normal meaning big B's. 2 ears. What are the ratios for the offspring? Well, first we have to figure out this first Punnett square. Both of the females in this case will be X big B, X little b, or all the females I should say, and all of the males in this family will be X big B, Y. So here we have a male who is normal and a female whose dad was 4-eared. Sorry, this is the females. Okay, so we're not sure what her genotype is until we figure out her family's genotypes. Here's her dad. Here's her mom. All of the girls in this family, all of the girls in this family will be X big B, X little b. So now you know her genotype has to be X big B, X little b. So we get X big B for this female, X big B Y for that male, X big B, X little b, X little b, Y. All four of these squares, boxes in the Punnett square, are different genotypes. So we would have a 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 ratio for genotype. Since this is a recessive trait, both of these show females with 2 ears. So we would say something like this, 100% 2-eared females. And you can do 1 to 1 for the boys. Half the boys in the family will have 2 ears, or are expected to have 2 ears. Half the boys in the family are expected to have 4 ears. I'm going to go through a couple blood type problems, but once you've seen a couple, you've seen them all. Heterozygous type B. There's heterozygous type B, one of each. It's just like in Mendelian genetics would say this. But since we're doing blood type, we have to add these exponent superscript letters. So there's heterozygous type B, homozygous type A, meaning the same. That's how you set up that problem. You're going to get just phenotypes here. I'm not writing genotypes, but you can do that. And then for this one over here, type AB with type O. You're going to get heterozygous type A on this side, heterozygous type B on that side. Last one is heterozygous type A with the type AB. Last one is homozygous type B and type A. All of the offspring in this case are going to be type AB blood.